I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we're Sisters in Ebert. Welcome back for another Movie Monday.
It's the Christmas season. It's the holiday season.
We're kicking it off with Trading Places from 1983. Ooh. Maybe as another obscure movie that people aren't
as familiar with.
Yeah.
Very early in Eddie Murphy's career.
Yes.
Second movie, I believe.
I think I have it noted in this. Yeah. At the end, I have all my fun facts, I believe. And I have lots of fun facts. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And this was 1983. This was a Summer of Movies movie.
Ding, ding.
So it is subject to our score rating. You're getting lots of summer movies.
These past few videos, yes.
Excuse me. So, if you're not familiar, do you want to go through?
Sure. So, we spent one summer and beyond.
It carried over.
With our dad. He showed us all his favorite films. He was like, you are going to love this. And sometimes we did and sometimes we didn't. So, we would spend, our summer lunch break downstairs in our walkout basement. Mm-hmm. TV is over on this side, so we're sitting on the couch watching. And then to the right was a glass sliding door that looked out to our wooded backyard. And there was lots of frolicking birds and squirrels and just a lovely little nature scene. So when we were bored or uncomfortable
or adult themes,
just not into this movie at the moment, we would direct our attention to the
second
door.
Feature.
Yes. To watch the squirrels. So if we give a movie a high squirrel rating, that means we spent a lot of time looking at those squirrels.
We were bored. We weren't
counting a lot of squirrels. Whereas if it has a low squirrel rating, we were focused on the movie, not watching the squirrels.
Right.
So
yes.
That's our squirrel rating. So at the end, we will let you know what we thought of Trading Places.
And part of this was because we realized we didn't really elaborate in the last one, but a lot of these movies would go a little long. Our dad tended to include his commentary for many of these films, and you would stop it and pause it to tell you the commentary.
To talk about it. Sometimes have to back it up.
Rewind it to show you again. And if he noticed you were looking elsewhere, you missed this part. I'm going to rewind it.
Yeah. There was a lot of...
They would often go, I remember when we get to Casino, that was like a 4-hour
The movie
endeavor.
Itself is like 3.
No, it's like 2.5 hours.
So long. But then
all day
with Dad's commentary, it went a lot longer. I remember Mom coming home and being like, "You're still down here?"
No, she watched it with us.
No, a couple just in general, films. She'd come home. You're still down here watching a movie? Yeah, we're still here.
She wouldn't always be on time either.
She worked a little late or whatever, and we were still.
Yeah, Dad didn't have to go to work that day. Yes. It was fair game. So we open in Philadelphia on streets at Christmastime.
I remember being excited that it was Philadelphia.
Yeah, because most of these movies are New York or Chicago.
From Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
so
we're about an hour from Philly. They're in the morning as all prep for the day. They're working class people, they're just showing different people getting ready for the day. A butler also prepares a breakfast tray in a wealthy home of young Dan Aykroyd.
So young. He looks like a baby.
But this was after Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
So right before Ghostbusters, but after Blues Brothers. So the butler shaves and grooms him. He has a hunch on pork belly stock. And he is, Mr. Aykroyd is Mr. Winthrop. That's his name. That's what they call him, Winthrop. Yeah. So he arrives to Duke and Duke, his employers. The Duke brothers have a whole staff of maids and butlers at their mansion, and they have a computer in their car, which for 1983 is something. Mm-hmm. They watch pork belly prices, and they make an extra $300,000 because of Winthrop's tip. Because he got it in before the market opened.
Yes. What's his first name?
We'll get there because didn't. Yeah, because they call him Mr. Winthrop.
For a while.
Duke and Duke arrive to work as Eddie Murphy, who is a homeless drifter without legs, aggressively begs,
scooting around.
Yeah, one of those little wheelie things, and
like a dolly.
Yeah. And the Dukes plan for the next windfall, their next windfall in frozen orange juice, and they give the butler a Christmas bonus of $5. Louis Winthrop.
Because
they got called Louis late. Yeah. Louis Winthrop brags about seeing Penelope that night. His isn't it his fiance?
His fiance.
And the Dukes complain about signing employee checks. And Penelope is the Duke's grandniece, so they're all connected. Mm-hmm. He's getting in good with the family.
Yes, they love him.
Yes. The Dukes argue about breeding versus environment, nurture versus nature. And they're always doing these little bets with each other. They're brothers.
This big sibling rivalry.
Eddie Murphy is busted for scamming. He's not blind and he has legs, and the cops just lift him up by his hands, and finally, like, his legs comes down. So, like, one at a time, too.
Yeah, he just stands there. There's one point where he says, like, he was in Vietnam.
Yeah,
he's, like, way too young to be in Vietnam.
Hey, man, I lost my legs in Vietnam. What are you talking about? He bumps into Lewis, who overreacts and believes he's being robbed. So, like, that's this whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lewis
is a butt.
Oh, my gosh. He's so whiny. And just,
So, no one believes Eddie Murphy, and Lewis wants to press full charges. So, the Dukes argue if merely upbringing is the problem or not. And they make a wager for Lewis to lose his whole life and be able to make Eddie Murphy run the company, and agree to the bet for the usual amount. Mm-hmm. So that's all we have. So that's what they agree to this bet, like, because they think, like, you know, they're still going back and forth about nurture versus nature.
So they think that they can make
anybody
turn to, like, a life of crime and turn around any life,
regardless of their breeding.
Yes,
just based on their circumstances.
Yes.
So Lewis brags to Penelope at dinner, and the Dukes call the butler at Lewis's to clue him in on the pending arrangement.
Yes.
Because everything at Lewis's is, like, funded by the Duke. Like not funded, but, like, you
they're his employers.
Yeah.
So, like,
they're his employers, and they're also, like, his future in-laws.
Yeah.
And,
they have a lot of power over Lewis's life.
Eddie Murphy is talking himself up in the holding cell. And his name is Billy Ray Valentine.
Great name.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. He made bail before being beaten in the holding cell, and Dukes are outside waiting. They bailed him out, and he's suspicious, but goes with them anyway, saying that they want to help him. They offer Valentine $80,000 a year, which in 1983 is pretty good.
Yes, it's pretty good now.
and had charges dropped. The Valentine is still suspicious, as he's told everything.
As he's being told everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
The Dukes watch as Winthrop arrives to work and is intercepted by Mr. Beeks in boardroom, who plants 3 $50 bills with red X's on Winthrop as a ruse to frame him by the Dukes, and he's ushered out.
Yes.
Because they, like, announced that they had been robbed, or, you know, there were these things, and they have X's on them, so if everybody could please pull. And Lewis is, like, fine with pulling out his money because he's like, I don't have it.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, who?
Or emptying their pockets. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get the money and he flips it and sees the X's. It's like, that's him.
Yeah. Lewis is treated like a common criminal in jail as personal items are sorted.
Because they also, Beeks talked to the police then. I don't know how they bribed the police to do this too.
They had PCP planted on him. PCP.
Do you see what this does to kids?
Yeah. Billy Ray goes to the bar and buys champagne for everybody and runs back into the guys from the holding cell. There's a party with bar patrons at his new house, and he soon sees that it's not fun to wreck his own stuff. And he wants to keep his house nice and kicks everyone out. After...
Now he's finally realizing, like, this is real, this is mine.
Yeah.
And they're trashing it in the boob quota.
I put after boobs appear.
Yes. Moment of the movie here.
That's when we're kicking everybody out. So Winthrop is still in the holding cell. Mr. Beeks is still around and has Jamie Lee Curtis make fast $100. She's working as a prostitute.
Mm-hmm. So she's just leaving the police station, getting out for the night. Mm-hmm. And he was like, do you want to make $100? She's like, I just got out.
Yeah. And he's like, no. Like, you don't have to do anything. You just have to, stay. So Penelope picks up Lewis with his clothes stolen. And
they didn't give him back his possessions when he left.
Wants
the jail.
To call off the engagement, and he's fired from Duke and Duke. Jamie Lee Curtis comes up to interrupt as a ruse from Mr. Beeks, and Penelope leaves for good.
Yeah, she is done after seeing.
So she's like, "Hey, baby,
oh Louie, I need some more drugs." Like, she's asking him for drugs because his fiance thinks he's a drug dealer, and he's like, "I'm not."
Yeah, he's so proud. I'm not. So he tells Jamie, we didn't get her name yet here, that he'll give her $50 at home if she pays $20 for a cab. She at his home. Mm-hmm. So the locks are changed at his home, and the butler acts like they've never met. The IRS has frozen all accounts and credit cards, and he's repossessed at the bank, as he is not someone they want to do business with.
Mm-hmm. Which, again, they talked to the bank and knew he would be coming in and planned all this.
Yes.
It's all being orchestrated by the Dukes.
Yes. Jamie has Louis come with her. Winthrop is spotted by Valentine in traffic as they're headed to he's headed to his first day of work, and he's still suspicious, and more so now since seeing Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Because he's in his car.
Yeah, he's like wait a minute.
His butler driving, and he's like, that's my car!
Yeah. And he's like, I saw this guy before. This is the guy who messed with me. Him. Yeah. The Dukes explain the job to Valentine, infers that the Dukes are bookies, and understands basics.
Yeah, like they're trying to walk him through basics.
Like, oh yeah, you guys are bookies. Yeah, that's what you're doing. I mean, it's like, hey, call it what you want. Yeah. Jamie's name is Ophelia, and she's 24 years old.
In real life, she was 21 at the filming of this.
No way.
She's like 35.
She does.
Like a good 35. Don't get me wrong, but an old,
21?
Older face.
Wow.
Older face is not the right term. She looks good. I'm not saying that she doesn't look good, but not as a 21-year-old child.
No, yeah, exactly.
She was 21 at the making of this movie. It's insane.
So, she's a prostitute without a pimp, saving all her money, doesn't do drugs, plans to retire in 3 years, and that Valentine will be able to read the market well. Winthrop will be helped by Ophelia if he pays her 5 figures. Mortimer plants money for Valentine, who immediately returns it. Yes. That's what he's trying to... Mortimer's trying to trip him up. Because he's
throw off the bet to make himself win, to show, see, you won't change him, but he's following exactly as he thinks.
Somebody left their
he's
wallet.
Turning his life around.
Because he can see that you get way more.
Yes.
Than he's petty crimes.
So... He's doing this on this side, and then Ophelia is using what's his name, Louis, to get herself ahead. She's like, "I'll help you, but you're gonna help me too."
Who are her parents in real life? She's got famous parents. And I forget the one. Her mom's was in like the Alfred Hitchcock movie. I can't remember. That's where her name comes from.
Oh.
Is her dad James Curtis? Is that why she's Jamie? I can't remember. There's like the Lee is I have to look it up. I always forget and I always look it up and then it makes sense again. Her parents are both very famous, like Hollywood royalties. So that's where like she kind of got, I think, her foot in the door.
Okay.
But then she earned it, obviously. Yeah, she's been in so many things.
Yeah.
Okay. So Winthrop comes to the social club to find his friends have abandoned him. He can't pawn any items because the shop assumes the items are stolen. Mm-hmm. And he's offered $50 for a watch and asked how much for the handgun behind the counter. Because he is just going through it.
Handgun, and the clerk is like, I don't think you should have one.
Lewis sees Billy at a fancy dinner with his colleagues and gets sick and cared for by Ophelia in bed. Boob quota is met.
Yep.
More boobs.
Time out. At that restaurant, they're playing the same music that's at the fancy restaurant in the Blues Brothers. I love it. The same sound. So that I love it.
Well, weren't the guys at the social club like singing to the girls at this point? Or is that later? Like,
oh, yeah.
It's like some sexually like charged song, but it's like...
In like a barbershop quartet fashion.
Lewis, Okay, so now it's Christmas Eve. Louis is feeling better, and he sees in the paper Billy Valentine's success.
Yeah,
at Duke and Duke
front page.
Yeah, and he goes to a Christmas party dressed as Santa, like a dirty, gross Santa.
Oh, it's so surly looking, so stained, so
and he's like shoving things into his beard.
Like, he's like stealing food from the table, like shoving it in his
like
coat.
Whole like steaks, like
here's like a
rib.
Let me stick this little thing in.
So Valentine is going over the payroll and he's suspicious of a check for Clarence Beeks. Dukes discuss the wager vaguely. Ooh, there's a little fly. Discuss a wager vaguely in front of Valentine, and Winthrop goes into Valentine's office. He plants drugs in Valentine's office.
Not very well. And he looks so mangy. And he's like, right here, I've caught Look at his desk. It's full of drugs.
Lewis pulls gun on Valentine, and security arrives, sees the gun, and leaves. They're like, nope. Winthrop leaves for some reason as the Dukes try to smooth things over with Valentine, who is already callous to Winthrop's situation.
Yeah, he just like waltzes out. Nobody stops him. He's pointing a gun at everybody.
And he's just like, oh man, like, yeah, he should know better. Like, he should do better with his life. And I was like, really? You know, you feel that way, Mr. Valentine. Valentine's in the restroom with a joint as the Dukes come in. Realize the Dukes has bet $1 that they could build up Valentine.
The usual amount for this. That they'd have destroyed Dan Aykroyd's life for $1
and tear down Winthrop. Knows Beeks is involved with the crop report somehow, and that he will be back on the street after the new year per the Duke's racism, seeks out Winthrop.
They called him a slur.
Yeah, and like they're like, oh, we'd never have him run our company and blah blah blah. So he's like,
slur.
Not only is he not going to get the future money, like they're messing with people's lives for $1, like Shelley said.
Yeah. And so he's like, I gotta find Lewis.
And we gotta work this out.
Yeah.
So Winthrop is drunk and hungry on a bus, realizes he hit bottom in the rain on the street.
Pulls out like the prime rib from his suit. It's like just snapping. He's
like
growling
there's
at people.
Like on the bus.
Like making all these noises.
Realizes, so he throws the gun away.
Because he tried to shoot himself and it didn't go off. So he just chucked it and then it fired as he threw it. He was like, ugh.
Valentine comes to Ophelia's place as Lewis nearly ODs.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just walking in, but I'm looking for Lewis.
And he wakes up at Valentine's after the doctor helps and thinks it was a dream.
At Valentine's, because he's at home. Yeah, like it's his house.
It's Lily's house, yeah. So Valentine reveals what happened, because he wakes up in his bed, so he's like, it was a dream. It was a dream. So they decide, he tells them all about the bet and they decide to work together to bankrupt the Dukes, and the best way to beat rich people is to make them poor. And both see that Beeks is on TV, like behind the Dukes and something, and realize he's working to corner the market for the Dukes. So Valentine and Winthrop both are suspicious of him on the payroll. Because Winthrop brought it up in the first scene.
In the very beginning. Yeah. They say, there's a check here for this.
I'm not familiar with.
And he's like, oh, we'll handle that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So they come up with a plan on a costume party, or at a costume party on a train where Beeks is also. And there's a real ape and a costume ape aboard the train.
The costume ape is Jim Belushi.
Yes. The lesser Belushi.
It is.
I didn't say that.
Brought in for this because it was shortly after John Belushi's death.
Oh, was it? Mm-hmm. They were trying so hard to boost up that. Yeah. Okay. So Valentine it's like if somebody brought Shelley in for me, you know? I mean,
you're gonna put me in an ape costume in this movie?
She'd shine.
I get an Oscar for that.
Valentine plays an African exchange student in the same cabin as Beeks, and Coleman / the butler, like that's who the butler is, his name is Coleman. He plays an Irish priest. Ophelia plays Inga from Sweden and distracts Beeks.
Like, aren't you from Austria? Because she's got like the And she says, no, I'm from Sweden. Like, she's like, this is what we're doing. Yeah. But that was real. Like, it was really supposed to be Austria.
I got it later.
And she couldn't do the accent. She kept doing a Swedish accent. So they had to make it.
I'm just being in acting classes. That just makes me feel like the things that you would like ad-lib in the scenes, like when you're doing those little workshops.
Yes. No, I am Swedish.
So she distracts Beeks as Valentine switches Beeks' briefcase with the one they brought, the ringer. If you've seen the Lebowski. Winthrop comes into the car as a friend of Valentine in blackface. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That might be why this movie is buried a little bit.
However, like, Murphy was part of it.
I know. And why did they go that route? Like,
I don't understand why they involved him at all, because he's gonna recognize him.
Exactly. He would
recognize either of them. He's been interacting with them the whole time. He's been the one sabotaging.
The only one who could really do it. Yeah. Okay. But Beeks sees Lewis fiddling with the briefcase and calls Winthrop out on his costume and being there. Beeks pulls the gun on the whole crew in the car with the ape, and costumed ape also comes in. Beeks is knocked out and put in an ape costume and in the same cage as the real ape, and he's assaulted by the real ape.
Mm-hmm.
They're
in love.
In a manner. Yeah. In a physical manner. Beeks meets the Dukes in the parking lot, in the dark parking lot, to exchange the money for the report. So Coleman, Valentine, Winthrop, and Ophelia arrive at the stock exchange with Coleman and Ophelia's life savings, and they go off to make all four rich with the real report as the Dukes also arrive to the World Trade Center.
Yes. So I remember as a kid not understanding any
of this too.
Moment. Like, what is happening?
I had no idea. I just knew that this was part of their plan.
Because even that took me, like, paying attention to see, okay, so they're gonna, like, figure out what they should buy or sell or whatever, and then make the money off of the opposite of what they told Duke and Duke to do.
And this was after 9/11, and after 9/11, I still didn't know what in real life when we watched it. I still didn't know what the World Trade Center actually was. Yeah, like I knew it was a big deal, and like so many people.
Can I just tell you, rewatching this and having it's called Trading Places, like. The click of trading, like they were trading in the stock market. I just like, they switched roles. Like, and then I was like, it's such a good title.
It's such a good title.
When I figured it out.
Yeah. And the World Trade Center. Never occurred to me.
Yes.
So, yeah. We're smart. Okay. So all the brokers rush to the floor as Valentine and Winthrop take their time. The market opens and their trading starts with all on the floor. The Dukes are watching from above, and the others notice the action of the Dukes and jump on the trend as Winthrop begins their plan. The price on frozen orange juice drops, and the Dukes realize that the crop report was a fake, and they try to bail, but was too late. The real report hits the market and concludes that the orange juice prices will fall because the crop was bad that year. The crop was too good that year. They had too many oranges. You know, supply and demand. But they tried earnestly to teach me in high school, and it
clearly stuck.
Yeah,
we just figured out what happened in the World Trade Center. You did trading there. That was people's job.
In a movie, you know, we learned it in a movie, not in a real life setting. So the entire market sells and closes. Valentine and Winthrop, their plan worked. And the Dukes question Valentine's lack of loyalty. And Billy explains that he won his bet against Winthrop, as Winthrop didn't believe that they could both get rich and put the Dukes in the poorhouse at the same time. Valentine won, and Lewis goes, $1.
There you go.
Thank you. The Dukes lost $394 million in 1983. Think about that.
That's a lot of money today.
That's a lot of clams. And they lost seats on the exchange as they're unable to pay up in cash. So Randall passes out. Mortimer and Randall were both the Dukes.
He's having like a
cardiac
event. Yes.
The Beeks is still in the gorilla cage with the other gorilla. They're in love. Let him go. Like there's not supposed to be a female ape in there.
Oh, it's fine.
It's New Year. It's the holiday.
Yeah, it's the New Year.
Coleman, Valentine, Ophelia, and Winthrop are on a tropical island with yachts and private help to enjoy their wealth. The end.
Just a happy ending. And now the butler has a butler.
Yes,
it's great.
So I have some fun facts.
Oh, do tell. Okay. I have them deep in my brain. I don't have them on the cusp of my tongue. So as you say them, I may be reminded.
So Frank Oz, who is the head correct cop, is the same one that was in the Blues Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah. The other guard was the dad from Beverly Hills 90210.
I didn't have that one.
Yeah.
That's you. Anybody from Growing Pains?
No. I hate you. Danhelm Elliott, who was Coleman, lived from 1922 to 1992. Long time. And he's also in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And
it's not that long.
It's long enough.
He's 70.
Oh. Well, that's what they had. I
was like, wow. And then thinking like 2022? No.
Oh, that's why. Because I said it wasn't that long. That's why I was... But he was also in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Okay.
So he didn't live too terribly much longer after this movie. Like,
okay, that's what you were getting
That's what I was getting
That
at.
was the fun fact.
It's not fun. It's not. Okay, Bleeks was also in The Breakfast Club and Die Hard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. He was the principal,
Yes,
wasn't he?
he was the principal, yes.
Yeah. Randolph Duke was in Pretty Woman, the 1941 Wolfman, 1976 version of Boy in the Plastic Bubble, Rosemary's Baby. He was also in Rosemary's Baby. Mortimer Duke was in Homeward Bound, 1993. He was the voice of Shadow. Oh, I know. I knew that would get you.
My heart.
Harry and the Hendersons and 1943's Heaven Can Wait. Both Dukes reprised their roles in Coming to America. Eddie Murphy gives homeless Dukes enough money as a handout to put them back in business in Coming to America.
I love it. A full circle moment.
Yes. Jamie Lee Curtis, it was a hard sell as she only did horror movies previously, so they didn't think that she could do a comedy.
Yes.
So this was kind of her first outside of like the Halloween.
Yes.
Wasn't she Sleepaway Camp?
She was a whole lot of
horror
She
movies.
was the Scream Queen because she was in so many horror movies. Do you know the selling point? Why they went with her? Because they saw a picture of her in a bikini, and they said she was willing to be topless in the movie. So
there you have it.
That's all you need.
There you have it.
Apparently.
To get ahead. Yeah. This was a John Landis movie. And inspired The Real Rule. This movie inspired The Real Rule to prevent insider trading on Wall Street. It's known as the Eddie Murphy Rule. Yes. And it came into power in 2010. That's when they
I hear you're kidding.
I know. Hi, Zorro.
That's not Zorro.
Oh, that's Snickers.
Snickers.
We got a new friend.
Don't usually get such an
aggressive
entrance. Oh, he doesn't want. He's not made for the limelight, apparently. Hi, Snickers.
This is the pier, by the way.
The pier.
Yeah.
Ow.
Sorry.
Put him on me, why don't you? You just urinate right on me.
He won't. He only does it when you're sleeping.
Getting a lot of information here.
Yeah, I know. So, Jamie Lee Curtis was teased for wearing lederhosen but being Swedish because she couldn't do the Austrian accent, as Shelley said. Eddie Murphy only did 2 films prior to this, and the Dukes did 99 films and 49 films between the 2 of them. So they joked that between the 3 of them, they'd made 150 movies.
Yeah, because he had 2, so he said it.
Yeah.
You are violent with his nails. He's like, hi.
Yes. Winthrop had had the same booking number as Jake and the Blues Brothers.
A nod again to John Belushi, who had recently passed.
And Jamie Lee Curtis's sister was Penelope's friend.
Yes, she was.
When they were singing to them. Yeah.
And I also read something like her future brother-in-law had a part, but I don't know if it's this sister or if she had another one. Like, it didn't elaborate, and I didn't dig.
Or would it be her husband's sister?
It could be. That could be. I don't know.
It goes both ways. Yeah. That's what I got.
Yes.
So.
That was basically all of mine, too.
Yeah. Because it's...
Hello, friend.
So, we have a new friend this week. This is Snickers.
Zorro's been replaced.
I'm surprised Zorro isn't in here, to be honest. But it's a rainy day. He's probably sleeping.
He's slumbering.
Yeah. And that's why Snickers is in. Because it's a rainy day. He doesn't want to be outside.
Okay. Squirreling it up.
First time.
The first time, it was pretty high. Because, one, it was summer and you're showing me a Christmas movie.
And it was nighttime.
Strike 1.
It was nighttime, and I think it was a Friday, so like TGIF.
We're missing all the Prime TV. Okay. And then I didn't understand any of what was happening with the trading.
I liked the comedic parts of it, but there was a lot of adult themes, and then I wasn't understanding the trading aspect, like Shelley said too. Yeah.
So, like, looking back on it, I enjoyed the movie more. The rewatch.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I love this movie now.
I understood it. I saw more of the humor. I caught the little lines.
The nuances, too. Like, you don't get half the jokes if you don't understand.
Yes. And it is a very clever storyline.
It is very clever.
How it comes together, like, it's cute. I think the ape part was a cop-out. I feel like that could have been a little better to get rid of the villain somehow. But
yeah, it really was.
But here we are.
Yeah.
So now the squirrel rating is quite low.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
a 1 or 2.
Yeah, my old squirrel rating was probably like at least 15.
Oh my gosh.
Because there was just so much going on.
Yeah. There was,
And it was nighttime, so it was hard to see squirrels.
I don't remember the scenario of watching it the first time.
I remember Mom and Dad were like, this is a funny movie, let's watch it.
And I remember, like, as I was rewatching it, I was like, I remembered scenes. Like, I remembered him as the Santa. I remembered Eddie Murphy on the dolly.
Went out of his way to like when we bring you a film, we try to correspond it with the time of the year and what's going on. Yes. Dad didn't. It was just like, here's a Christmas movie in July.
Yep. And it wasn't a Christmas in July.
No. Or it was probably
it was just like, yep, this is a good movie now. It's not themed appropriately whatsoever. We try to
consider that for our fans.
Mm-hmm. For the fans.
All 5 of you out there.
Thank you for being
our
here.
dozen fans.
We love you.
Who we all know personally.
But so, the squirrel, it was high then.
But now
it's much lower now.
Yeah, I don't think I have any squirrels for those. Yes, I love this movie.
A great cast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
They were great. Like, Eddie Murphy's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. And he's perfect in this role. Dan Aykroyd is perfect, whiny little.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's great.
Terrible.
And
person.
Together they're just they're fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah, I do love this movie. I love that they took a chance on Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, because they were like, whoever suggested like he had be read for the role, they were like, who's Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
He had done like one other film and it hadn't come out yet.
Did he do SNL?
He was on SNL, but like whoever was.
Yeah.
Not against it, but
he wasn't.
He wasn't like a huge player. Yeah,
but you gotta love Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood.
Gentrification.
But it was a good. Yeah, well, sorry about Snickers aggressive too.
Very aggressive.
Like we said in Stepmom, if you go back and watch that, we have an elderly pug in my family, and this cat thinks he's being very kind to the pug and just like bumping into him like when they're both outside at the same time, like he's just always like aggressively trying to rub on it.
Right over.
But our pug is not good in his hips, so he's just like getting knocked over by this little cat. It's sad.
Oh, Snickers.
I love them both, but they're not great together.
Thank you for being here at the start of this holiday season.
Yeah, if you know who Jamie Lee Curtis's family is without me having to look it up, please comment and
bonus points.
Let us know. I forget. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Her mom was in Alfred Hitchcock movies, and I don't remember which. I don't remember if it's The Birds or Psycho. It's one of the two.
Okay.
It's one of the two. I want to say Psycho.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, and if you go below, in our description, you can follow us on our Facebook and Instagram. There's links directly to them. We are at Sisters in Ebert, so please like and follow and subscribe and comment and everything. Please engage with us on YouTube too. We're Sisters in Ebert, and we love hearing from you. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell notification so that you get when we release new content and things like that. And we really appreciate all the support. And come with us for the rest of this holiday season.
Yeah, we've got some more good ones coming up.
Yeah.
Our seasonal favorites.
So we'll see you next Monday at the Christmas movies.